Here I am, and welcome to my office. I know, bare walls behind, except for my Nature's Best certificate, which just arrived through the post on the wall, so very happy with that. Anyway, you don't need any distractions, because on the screen you're going to see some beautiful tiger pictures, and I'm going to be very small in the corner, which is where I should be at all times. The point of this is to show you some tiger images and give you some hints and tips that you can apply to your own photography. Yes, I know you don't have tigers in deepest Croydon, but you might have rabbits and other stuff like that, and it's always best to try and learn from other people's mistakes, and trust me, I make a load. So this is designed to go with the video, the Arrowhead 1 video. If you haven't looked at the Arrowhead 1 video, it's a masterpiece of awful presenting. So if you want to have a look at it, please have a look at it first, and then you'll get an idea for the context of these images. And the first thing I will say is we couldn't always film. When I was shooting, it was kind of difficult to self-film, which is what I'm doing all the time. I've got clients as well, and obviously help them out with their pictures to get the best situation. And I've got to position the vehicle, and. So sometimes it's hard to get the video and the pictures to match up with the story. But anyway, here's the first time that we saw Arrowhead, and you can see it's a nice, low-angled picture. If you divide the picture into half, you can see that I've got Arrowhead is on the left-hand side looking into the dead space. Now, when an animal is looking to a direction, I'm a big one in having it look into dead space. So you don't put her over the right-hand side and have a look out the picture. She's on the left of the center line looking into some dead space. When I processed this, I kind of sat back and thought, you know what? I want to create a little bit of atmosphere and mood in here. So I darkened the forest down a little bit. Kind of that's the action for darkening. It's also when I'm cleaning windows. See, Cockney upbringing. But anyway, so it's kind of a bit of darkening all there, a bit of Ansel Adams around, but keeping the tiger nice and bright, and maybe a little bit of work just to bring up the shadows on the tops of the eyes. It's not my fault that she wasn't quite looking at me. She's looking down. She looks down all the time, like her mother, Krishna, who looked down all of the time she walked along. So I've got lovely pictures of her eyelids. Anyway, I quite like this. It's quite a nice image. It was taken with the 40 to 150, so on the system, the Olympus system, that's an 80 to 300 2.8. The numbers, I'm just reading them professionally off the screen, off the piece of paper here. See, oh, professional here. ISO 400, f4, 500th of a second, 0.07, so minus 2/3 of a stop compensation. ISO 400, well, I don't expect it to do anything. She was just kind of do anything. She was just walking around. F4, I want to keep the background diffuse with a micro 4/3 system. It probably shoots at f5, 6.3, something like that, even though you said f4 is a bit more depth of field. So I want to keep the background out as much as possible, but I do want the background in it. That's what I do love about the micro 4/3. I don't want this tiger in isolation. I want everyone to know it's in a forest. 500th of a second, just because that's what I got. Minus 0.7, create a picture actually in camera, take the highlights right down, and remove some of the highlights on the trees, etc, etc. So create the mood in camera. All right, that's that one. Next one. Now, this was a sequence where she came down through the trees. It was a bit mad, and I couldn't quite film it with the video camera. Why am I kind of doing this? I don't know. I should be doing that. Irons. Anyway, for those who don't understand my randomness, nor do the doctors. Now, so Arrowhead was coming down the hill. It was really good. I just had time to pick up the 300. So this is the 300 f4, which of course on this system is a 600. Now, I gave my clients the clear shot. I was stuck in the front with not the clear shot. So I shot through a gap in the trees at her, and it kind of created a natural frame. I really like it, actually. Of course, I would have preferred the tree not to be there, but the tree is there, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I selected a fine focus point. I can't remember if it was a single point or a compass, which is middle, north, south, east, west, something like that. Right between the eyes. I don't go over the eye, I go right between the eyes. It's on the 300, so again, ISO 400, f6.3 here, and an 800th of a second. Which is what I got. Why am I 6.3? Because I wanted to get a bit more of the back in, because when they're coming down, you get these lovely back markings there, as you can see there, and I kind of consciously wanted to get that in. I could probably have got that in at 4, but for some reason I just raised it a bit. But the interesting thing is it's a minus 1.3 compensation. I took it right down. I put the white balance on cloudy. Could do that later on the software. Can't be bothered to do that. I've got better things to do in my time than do that. So I might as well do it at shoot time, because I want to create the picture as it was. Gave it loads of space here. Well, yeah, it was a 300. I didn't have much choice, right? Well, no, but I could have put a converter on and cropped it in. I could have cropped it in the process. I didn't. I've left it like this. I think it really works very well indeed. She's looking slightly offset to the camera and slightly to the left. I think it's really nice. Foot forward. That's the one I picked in the edit. So I was shooting 20, 30 frames a second when I wanted to, but the one I picked was foot forward. I know it's my arm. You want the foot forward. There it goes. Done yoga today. That's why I'm quite supple. That's what they call it. And this is the same image-ish. Literally the next one in the sequence, and rather than just process the same thing, I've processed a portrait, because I'm a great believer in there are many different pictures from one picture. So there are many different forms of it. Landscape, portrait, crop, window, weird, diagonal, star, whatever format you want to use. So this one I just took a portrait and cropped in a bit more. Now, I don't crop in my images and leave them. I re-expand them to 50 megabytes as a TIFF, because that's what my agents need to make me loads of money. Yes, because that's what it's all about. We do have to make money being professionals because the tax man demands it. Remember, Galen Rao, a most amazing photographer ever, said the photographer is in business, I think, to pay the tax man. Fantastic statement from a fantastic photographer. I probably misquoted it slightly, but that's roughly what he said. Anyway, so tiger's coming forward. I like the fact that the head's offset. Don't always think you've got to have an animal stare at you. See how intimidating I am? See how threatening I am? Not. But if you're staring, it's a bit more intimidating. It's a different picture. This one, the tiger's clearly looking at something. And actually, this was when the tiger started to look at something that it was wanting to hunt, which was a wild boar. It was looking at these wild boar that were feeding in the grass. So she was beginning to lock on. Because I was low down, shooting up, I got a very nice angle into the eyes, you can see there. Let's look at another one. Here, she's coming a little bit closer again. Look at those lovely eyes. So, you know, I'm kind of cropped in a bit here, but when she's coming closer like this, my landscape 600 isn't going to work, so I'm going to get it on the portrait mode on the 300 to get her. I've got to move the focus points up to cover between the eyes as well. And again, you've got this lovely frame of the tree around the outside. It looks like here I can remember what I've done. I've selected the grass to get the colour, got a paintbrush at 10% and painted around the bottom just a little bit, just to blur the grass and the foreground out. I don't need to know that there is stuff there. I'm not interested in it. I'm just interested in the tiger. What beautiful eyes as well, eh? She's clearly looking at something. It's a very compelling picture, and again, it's got space around it. Right, what we got next? Oh, even slightly closer. Look at that. And just proof again that there is more than one image from a picture. There's more than one format you can use. So I've just cropped in a bit more just to get that little bit more intensity. And maybe those of you that post to social media, please don't be stressed about it, because nobody does well on social media. Those of you that post to social media, often you need to have close-ups because the subtle stuff just doesn't seem to get any likes. And if you're in social media to get some likes, you might want to post it close in. Personally speaking, I don't bother. I just post what I like. And if something only gets a few likes, well, that's not my fault. I like the picture. And that's what you have to do. When you post to social media, you have to like the picture. All right, there's this one. Now, this is slightly different. Again, this is with a 40 to 150. Now, it looks kind of a similar depth of field, doesn't it? Yeah, well, it does, but it's not. It's with a 40 to 150. I've got this at f4.5, so it's a little bit more in focus because it's a zoom. But again, you know, I know to change, and I wanted to change what lens I had, because I kind of, the tiger was locking on. It was beginning to stalk a bit, and I kind of thought, okay, look, something's going to happen here. I don't want to have a 600 on and just get a headshot. You know, if there's going to be some action, and of course when a 600 is something runs and you can't find it, you're like this, which looks ridiculous, and you've lost your pictures. So if I've got a nice zoom lens, I'm able to track what's going on, and yeah, I may not be as close, but I will get the action, I will get the shot, and then I can always crop it and sort it out later on. So this was definitely a change to the other camera. You can see, now, very important here, front foot forward. The front foot is forward, it's clearly looking at something, it's clearly locked on, it's clearly stalking, and this is razor sharp. And here's the thing, I don't sharpen my pictures. No, I don't, because my agent doesn't want me to sharpen my pictures. They are, the last stage I do in Photoshop is put the colour on and that's it. I don't sharpen them. You have to realise that all these people that criticise Micro Four Thirds, oh, it's not great quality. Here's a 50 megabyte images that will print, it will print A3 or A2 that looks sharp as a button, and it's on a Micro Four Thirds camera. Olympus EM1X, absolutely fantastic piece of kit. All right. Here we are, coming stalking around the tree. Now this time it's looking a lot meaner because it's kind of thinking I'm going to start going for it. And you can see I got the little fly at the top there as well. I don't take that out because it's a natural thing. And what's the last one? Oh, okay, a nice one here. Look at that. Obviously I've swapped now to the 12 to 100 at this point on the EM1X. I have multiple cameras set up to shoot. That's really important for me to have. I have to have multiple cameras set up to shoot. It's the only way that I work, because of course you can't rely on just changing lenses in the heat of the moment. One, I've missed shots many times because the lens falls on the floor, under your seat, over the back, whatever. You fumble, you can't do it up. It's just embarrassing. So I just get 3 cameras and put 3 lenses on them, and then I can actually manage to do that. And I need this order in my life, believe it or not. So here you can see lovely motion coming forward, the hunched shoulder, the power and the muscles that she's got, Arrowhead. She's really focused ahead. Now, as I said, this is with the 12 to 100, which is a 24-200, ISO 400-4.5, but it's 1/1250th of a second. It's very interesting because I decided I wanted, what I really should have done, I made a mistake here. I should have gone up in the moment to ISO 800 or even 1600 to take that shutter speed right up, because she's about to run. Way, I'm going to charge something. I don't want to create a blur. 1,000th, I'll probably get it all right, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So I should have banged that ISO up to 800 or 1600. I just forgot in the heat of the moment. And that's a very important lesson to you all. You have to admit your mistakes and learn from them. I'm not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. I make mistakes every single day when I shoot. And this time, yeah, I nailed the shot. But had there been some action, perhaps I should have got it at a higher setting. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this randomness and the chat about the tiger pictures. Arrowhead 2 will be along very soon. Anyway, let me know below if you like what I'm doing and we can do more. All right, bye now. Bye.